they changed it, because it's Central Standard Time changes right the other side of Chattanooga. And they wanted to change back into Central Standard Time because it's dark.
That would be kind of
When the
aggravating.
kids is out there, there's kids
Yeah,
that
real
get
close
hit
to
in
the
cars.
change date line.
It's
Yeah.
dark when they
You know, and I butted in. I think me and you have done the most talking. Who else? I don't remember who else said anything. I don't believe we, but
See, I didn't
because we had to go to eat or something, wasn't it?
No battery here.
Well, the battery, see, evidently I just took, I must not took all this stuff, but see, this I can hook it right up and it'll play all day. If you
Well, you could have plugged it up to electricity.
Well, that's what I
You
know,
didn't
but
think
I must not have taken, since it was gonna be a van full, I must have just took just the camera. Cause I do that a lot now, I don't take the case with me, and that must be, because if I'd have had this, I'd have went in there and got it. As bad as I want, it's on. Oh. I'm trying to run this thing. Go ahead, y'all talk.
You go on first. And do what you,
Okay, Velma, tell me when you was born.
When you start talking,
I was
it brings
born.
mine to mind.
You know what I didn't do? I didn't turn it on down there.
Well, have you got the thing off, the cap off that I have been taping and my thing over the lens?
Oh yeah, I can see y'all, so I know
Oh,
I'm
well.
taking it. Hang on.
Do we look pretty?
Okay, I'm gonna put this in here and see if it turns it off. It must be that, I didn't. No, it don't turn it off, and I forgot to mash that button, see? I'm sorry,
So that's
Now you start all over.
Okay, Velma, tell me where you was born again.
No, I mean born. I was born in Anderson, Anderson, South Carolina, on November the 9th, 1925, on 8th Street. And I was born while Daddy had gone deer hunting. And Mama said that I was already born, and she didn't know what to do. So Sister Erlene was outside, they was out on their yard washing clothes, and like with a real board up here, like they used to. And so she kept hollering for them. They finally came in there to see what was wrong. And so Mama said it scared them death. She told them, said, well, if y'all don't do something, I'm going to try to do it myself. And said she can just see Sister Erlene, said she still had suds on her hands, said pushing the seat.
Her hands was clean,
yeah. Said you just tell me how to do it, flip the cord and thing, and said, I'll do it. And said, so Sister Erlene helped deliver where I was already born, but she flipped the cord and everything. And her name is on my birth certificate, too. Yeah,
It's like a midwife.
Well, see, they had a midwife already that was supposed to come, but see, Daddy was gone hunting, he wasn't there to go.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Daddy ever went deer hunting.
That's a new wrinkle on our
Yeah, I didn't know that, but Mama,
You know what? I just want to
Probably to get the meat.
as you told that, I can picture everything that in my mind. The only thing I see you were a pretty big baby too, weren't you? I believe Mama said you weighed about 9 pounds.
yeah, I can't even remember.
Most of Mama's babies
They were
did.
big.
But what
I bet
I
they
can
were
just
big,
see you, Lillian, there, and I just wonder. Here's what I was wondering. I wonder if you was.
I probably
All
was.
that stuff
And
all over.
especially if Mom was crying, I guess the baby was too.
I guess.
Didn't know what to do. But so I.
And then tell us about what you reprimanded our neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
About that, what you told that man.
Doing something terrible on Sunday.
Well, this one we lived in Easley. I was about 9 years old, and we was at the man across the street from us, west side beside this street between the houses, and it was Sunday. We just had come from church, and he was out there cutting wood. And see, Mom had always told we wasn't supposed to do nothing on Sunday and everything. So, but I really didn't think the man heard me. But I said it kind of cute, like I said, cutting wood on Sunday. Kind of sung it off, cutting wood on Sunday.
I thought it was cute, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, and so he really heard. I didn't know how he was gonna do it, but boy, he cussed me out. I mean, he just.
All kind of words.
Yeah, all kind of. I couldn't. Not if I'd heard some of them words before. And so when I told Mom about him cussing me, and she said, "Well, what did you do?" She asked me, "What did you do?" And I told her, and she said, "Honey," said, "you know, you're not supposed to." Said, "You don't know why that man had to cut that wood." Said that they might have been cold and maybe they didn't have any yesterday, and they just finally got it, and he had to cut the wood. And she said, "You're gonna go over there and tell him that you're sorry." I said, "Mom, no." I said, "Mama, whip me, Mom." I said, "Whip me, Mama. Whip me." I said, she said, "No." I said, "Whipping's not good enough." She said, "You're gonna go back and tell him you're sorry." And boy, I'm telling you, I thought, oh my goodness, for my first ago, I said, "You're probably gonna cuss me out again." But when I went there, but he was, I told him, and he said, well, that's all right, but said don't do it anymore, you know, everything, you know. He was gonna help, and I probably told him that Mama made me.
Hey, you ain't done it.
Yeah, I mean, I probably did knowing back
When you're a kid, you.
but that reminiscing about it, if I see somebody doing something on Sunday now, I said, well, they have
Well,
to
the ox might be in the ditch. That's fine. If the ox is in the ditch, you got to pull him out, because you know Jesus was criticized for.
And he might have been doing
on
stuff.
Sunday.
And
Even on
again, he might have
Sunday.
been drunk all day Saturday, and he had to do
Who,
it.
that man?
Yeah, he called because he was.
Okay, tell us something new.
Let's
We're
just
gonna
leave
get
that
a
other
scoop.
out.
No, I'm telling you what, I had to reset the camera, and Edith, I got a scoop, and I'm gonna make her tell it over because I didn't
told.
get it.
We've never heard it
Well,
before.
let me say this though. Before that, another reason Mama was, I know we were taught not to work and all this on Sunday, you know.
Well, back
but
then people, even sinners,
oh,
most times didn't
I
even
know.
do things
Well,
on
and the
Sunday.
stores didn't.
Even
The
stores were closed.
They weren't as plentiful now. And Mama would even cook her food on Saturday, you know. And did we? I reckon
Heat it with this heat. She'd heat it up.
we didn't have no microwave.
Was on wood. Oh yeah, we had warmers on the stove.
Yeah.
It's either had a fire in the stove
Anyway,
and they'd warm it up.
But here's what. There were times when diapers needed washing, and she would have to wash them on Sunday, but she would explain what to us why she was doing it. I remember that she would explain to us, this has to be done, and then she would explain to us in the Bible about it, and a lot of people calls it, well, the ox is in the ditch, and you got to pull him out. That was just all the way. But anyway, I guess I can tell that I believe I was around 6. It might have been maybe 5, but I think it was.
Where'd y'all live?
We lived. We called it Melton, but it was just. It's
What
not
was
a
that
place.
lady's name?
I
want to get all the dirt.
I know. I wished if this was a source. You know,
source, okay.
Everything comes from a source.
So we can't check it out. They afraid I'll go black.
That's the way the news. But anyway,
You got more dirt.
it was our landlady and her daughter's at. I never see the man, so he might have been working something. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. But it was cold. It was a pretty day, but it was cold because I remember I had my coat on, and I went out there and because I went out there a lot of times, and they thought a lot of me, and they were all out in the yard, and I went through the house. I don't know why, just being nosy, I guess. And because I love to see what people do, you know, and I guess how they happen, yeah. And so.
Might see a cookie left on the table.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
She would have stolen
that one.
Y'all were we know the story.
I can't tell my
She done
story.
told it twice.
Y'all gonna make me forget.
No, we ain't gonna let you forget.
You know, that's so strange that you remember stuff away from me. It's because it was bad. I mean, that was something stamped on my mind. And so I went in there and I walked by the dresser and there was a watch laying there, but it didn't have a band on it. Beautiful gold watch. And like I said a while ago, I don't know what in the world possessed me to do that except the devil. You know, that shows we're born. That shows we're born in sin. You know, and because I know Mama used to say that when you could see children, just tiny babies, it just pitches tantrums. You know,
No.
But anyway, and so I walked back and forth, you know, and I look at that watch and I don't know what in the world I was going to do with it. It didn't have a band on it. And see, you know, the devil won't let it. I don't want to start sounding like I'm preaching or something.
No,
But the devil won't he blinds us to things like that. And I should have thought of what my teacher, what had been taught. But that didn't, see, the devil didn't let me see that. And so I went back, and as Mama used to say, I sang. I don't know what but that's what she said. She said, I sang back and forth, you know. And so I just eased it and dropped it in my pocket. I went around, but I was ready to go home. See, I was on my conscience. Mildred, don't make it sound so bad. I just took it. I didn't steal it. I just took it.
But what's the difference?
It was wrong. wrong.
Yeah, it was
And
wrong.
I knew it was
I'm
wrong because
sorry.
after I had,
I'm
because I
sorry.
was ready to go
This just
home.
confession day.
Listen, just like, why didn't I put it back when I decided I gotta get home and get out? You know, see, but like I said, the devil don't let you think about all these things, the consequences and all that. But I went on home, and it wasn't too long. I don't remember just the exact time till the lady came out there, and she said, Miss Hanvey, she said, now we love Edith, and said she's been at our house a lot, and said I don't want to accuse her.
Were you in the room with her, or you?
No, they were out in the yard.
Oh,
You mean was I when Mama?
when
I
she was come back.
No,
Yeah.
I was in the when I saw her coming.
You went
Yeah.
You were leaving that out.
And so.
I'm trying to help you tell me.
Yeah, and so I'm glad you reminded. And so she said, I don't want to accuse Edith, but she said, my watch is missing. Said I had to wash the band. I reckon she wore, well, some people still do, those grove grain bands.
Well, and back then when you sweated like that, I guess
Yeah.
mine still
And
does
she said,
sometimes
I want-
because I got so much acid.
She
in
said,
mine.
Jim breaks out. He couldn't wear
Some of them do me.
Well, and bet people don't wear a lot of gold.
No.
No.
And
It
so,
was pure gold.
y'all let me
Okay.
finish.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, go ahead.
I have to tell yours.
When she's got the floor, she's got to have the floor.
Well, I'm used to being by myself when I'm talking on it. But I know I have to concentrate.
Yeah.
See, I'm
We
older.
gotta let her
I'm
tell it
older.
for everybody
No,
else
I'm
gets
not going
in.
to talk about being older. But anyway, and so she said I had to wash my van, and said I left my watch laying on the dresser. And she said after Edith left, said I went in the house. I forgot what she was doing. I said washing clothes, I guess, or something. But anyway, and she said when I looked for my watch, said it was gone. And she said the reason, and she repeated, she said, and I don't want to accuse her, and I hate to even say this, but she said nobody else has been there.
I bet
said-
that was hard on her.
Yeah, it was. It
It hurt her
Because
too.
you know what how Mama, what a good neighbor she was,
Yeah.
and all of this. And so, and us children were good. I mean, we're supposed to be. I mean,
You hung to the table.
but anyway, and so Mama called me in there, and I'm going to change this a little bit because when Mama called me in there, she said, Edith, and she told me what the lady said. Of course, I had already heard her, but she said, did you get her watch off of the dresser? And no ma'am, no ma'am. And but I show guilt when I'm not guilty. But I was guilty. I was guilty. Well, the lady went on home. The lady, she went on home. She took my word for it. But Mama knew. See, Mama knew that and so Mama let her go on, and that was best for her not to, whip me or anything. And she whipped me. I've never forgot that whipping. I told you wrong, but she whipped me, and Mama never did whip me.
No, Mom didn't whip much.
Because she would kind of jerk her hair,
Pinches.
or pinches.
Give us a swat.
She wasn't abusive. Now we won't get that straight because.
No,
but
she
anyway.
was- Daddy was with Daddy.
Now he never did whip hardly, but when he did, you knew you had a whipping. He would put it off, and when he did, he made up for all the mother. But anyway, and so after she got gone, Mama said, "Come here, Edith," and I grabbed my pocket. She said, "Come here, Edith. What have you got in that pocket?" And I didn't want to, how a little kid is, and I know I was cute and sneaking, but Edith, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lord forgive me. Y'all erase that.
Hold on. Hey, that makes
Because
us funny.
I don't think I'm cute.
But
I couldn't resist saying that. But
Cute
anyway,
Polish.
maybe. But anyway, and I bet everybody's saying, well, go ahead and finish telling the story.
All right, tell it.
Because it's so terrible. But anyway, Mama whipped me. And she made me, she didn't reach in. She made me take the watch out myself. I got it out, and there it was. And of course, at first, she kind of shamed, how Mama could kind of shame you,
And the look on her face.
and that's what hurt me worse than the whipping or anything else, was that look on Mama's face. It makes me want to, I choke up now to even think about it.
I can't believe my child.
Oh, and
Especially Edith.
Especially
My pet.
It was my neighbor.
My pet.
Yeah.
and that's what I was always accused of.
Yeah.
But it's because I was so good.
Oh my life!
I'm saying things that I don't mean. I mean, when I talk.
You do, it comes from the heart, from the
I don't, she might have been, now I don't remember this, but she might have even made me go get the hickory. You know, she was good at doing it, making us go get our own hickory. And if it wasn't proper time, she'd make us go back and get off the peach tree. Boy, them things stunk. And that could have been, I'm not so sure, I don't remember that part of it, except I remember she whipped me like she had never whipped me before. And then on top of that, after I quit crying and got calmed down, she called, it was either Carl, I'm pretty sure it was Carl. And because she wanted to be sure that I didn't go out there and just turn around and come back. Because if I was bad enough to still watch,
You'd sneak your leg back in there somewhere else. Lay it on the porch so that woman thinks you.
And so, but I'm so glad though that this happened in my life. It might kept me from being a thief, you know. But anyway, and I don't remember where I was. Well, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. But anyway, and so. And she told me, she said, now, you're going to have to carry that watch back out there and apologize. Oh, no, Mama, you whipped me now. Well, that's enough. She said, no, you got to go and apologize. And, oh, I was kind of like you. I didn't tell her to whip me again because it was, but I felt like it. I just thought, well, the whipping wasn't as bad, as that would be. But she sent Carl to be sure that I said it. She didn't trust me. I couldn't
Hey, you must have
blame
really been a mean young'un if she didn't trust you.
And so when,
I don't know why they thought you was a thief.
so when I went, I carried the watch and I had to apologize. That was the hardest thing in the world. But I apologized, and she was real sweet, and she tried not to make me feel bad, and she just. As well as because if she had been ugly and mean about it, I believe I'd remembered that.
Yeah.
But she was sweet about it. Yeah, but she was sweet about it. Well, and she's kind of like that man I was talking about at the store, you know, about.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to make it, I guess, any worse than what it was. And she was sweet. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I never wanted anything else that didn't belong to me. After that, and I'm telling you right now. And,
Okay, now I want you to, since you done confessed, I want you to, how long after that was it you wrote your first song?
I was 13. Oh, no, my little,
mute.
My little mute.
Okay, well, what did you say?
Well, we moved from there to, SQ Farm. They called it SQ Farm.
Out from Addie.
But what I was going to tell you, though, where we lived, it was, we picked cotton for our rent at that place where, and Mama was expecting, so she wasn't preaching at that time. And I won't tell I never forget this too. She had, like you said, a midwife. Well, always before, when they would, the midwife, well, wouldn't hardly put water on you. They were scared to give you a cold and all this. But Mama, and it like scared Mama to death, the midwife had got a pan of soap. I mean, a pan of water and soap. Pan of water and
cup of water.
Well, Mama used to make lye soap and you'd have.
Yeah.
But anyway, this wasn't lye soap.
Boy, she must be
And
old.
this is where Addie Louise was born.
Yeah.
And we went to school called Melton. We just always called it the Melton place. But
Well, that's that one. It's that shopping center in Anderson, across from the mall.
And let me tell this too, one thing. That's where Mama made that song, Mother and Dad. Was when we lived at SQ Farm.
SQ Farm. Well, but I backed up a little bit to where Addie Louise was born. Addie Louise was born where we called it Melton.
Well,
Melton.
the SQ Farm's where Mama made Mother and Dad.
Where she stole that
Shut
watch.
your mouth. And so Mama said that
I knew y'all was dying to know what she was whispering.
Mama said that woman got the midwife got a pan of warm water and got a washcloth and some towels and Mom was wondering what was she getting all them towels for, you know, whatever. And the soap, and said she came in there and Mama said, "What are you going to do with that?" She said, "I'm going to give you a bath." Mama said, "No, you're not." None of the rest of the midwives did. Said, "You'll give me a cold and give me pneumonia." And Addie Louise, what month was that? She was born in December. Seeing it was cold and all, we heated with. We did have a big fireplace.
December what?
16.
I believe.
Yeah, I know Daniel's is 18th.
And Ruth Hanvey's is 18th. And Carl's was Carl's is the 31st because he was born.
And Evelyn's is one day it calls other, isn't it?
Because Carl was born in the last month. He used to tell me the last month of the year, the last day of the month,
Well, then
and the last hour in the day.
Yeah.
Evelyn was born the 30th, then if he was born the last year.
Yeah.
That's just too, I should have told him.
But anyway, and so she started the way she did though. She kept let Mama stay covered up. She washed Mama's face and her neck and well, I imagine the other one maybe washed her face and hands, but said, and that's when she really got excited though when she pulled it down where she could do her arm, and well she pulled the things down to here because she took one towel and laid over this arm she hadn't washed, and so she bathed this arm up to here, you know, and dried it, actually rinsed it off and everything, and covered it up. Then she did this arm that way, you know, and did her, and Mama said, oh, she said she felt so good.
Yeah.
And always after that, well, if they didn't want to do it, she'd tell them to, you know. And so before I get into about the songs, I want to tell where I was born. Judy, she didn't ask me where I was
Edith,
born.
where were you
how
born
could I write
before you stole that water?
No, she won't never let me forget that.
No, I'm just
Hey.
cutting up now.
Whoever's watching this, that's the first time I've ever told that, and
We think it's
I know.
funny.
She wouldn't even tell me on the audio tape. She said, I'll tell you sometime over the phone so it won't be recorded.
Well, you don't ever know where a tape's going to land.
Well, they know this.
But anyway.
That was long.
Oh, wow, yeah, because I'm 73.
Yeah, that was back when you was 6
but-
years old.
That's old.
But anyway, in my mind, at times I feel like I'm about 15 or 18. But my body lets me know I'm not. But anyway, and where'd I get to? Where I was born. Oh yeah,
Where were you?
Mama and them, and I wished I had, there are a lot of things I wish that I'd asked Mama more about. But I didn't know I was going to tell all these things. But they organized and built a church in Pelzer. And for some reason, we were staying in this, I imagine to get started, they had to stay with, we had to stay with somebody. Because, you know, we never did know where we were going to live. Had you thought about that? We didn't. We never did know where we were going to live, but we always had somewhere to live.
Yeah, sure did.
And so I never forget this. It was Sister Hightower, and she was one of the main members. You know, we were there in her house, and I was born at her house in Pelzer, South Carolina.
Well, we're going to somebody else's house to have a baby.
Have a baby.
You don't think that nothing like that now?
You know, we've got it was very unusual.
It's unique.
What?
We live
Yeah,
in
very
unique.
unique.
Very unique.
Somebody
unique
ought to
life.
write a book.
Yeah, and Louisa started one.
And so, but anyway, when we moved to SQ Farm from where I was talking about Melton, and where Addie Louise was born, and there were trees all around. There's a shopping mall there now. I mean, a big mall. I mean, shopping. Well, the big mall's on the other side.
It was out in the country then.
Yeah. And it was a lady we always, that we were renting from, because she's the one that would come and get to collect, and she would bring eggs. We got eggs and milk, different things from her. And so, the trees, well, the first one though, the first little song, JT, let's see, the 18 months between me and JT, and I guess I was in the first and him the second grade, because I know had already started school. And he brought home a paper like the kids do, they had drawn a mule. They drew a mule on let me say it that way, that sounds better, because they drawn, that sounds like you're pulling. But anyway, they, a picture of a mule where they had drawn it that day and colored it, and he said, I don't know why he said this, but he said, Edith said, make a song about this. And so I did. Y'all want me to sing it?
Yeah, we want you to sing it.
I love a mule that is kind to me, and he loves everybody he sees. Oh, I love that old mule that is kind to me, and he'll be so kind Mama and them, and I always loved them, hear them saying that. Let the waves roll high in the, what was that storm? Oh, that's well, and so that's where my tune came from. We're doing what didn't take up yonder when the shores were up there.
I wanted to sing them songs.
And so then I've always been a dreamer. And
Yeah, we do
sometimes it's kind of hard to face reality.
In that
too.
sewing room, that's where I put mine.
Sometimes it's kind of hard to face reality though when you're a dreamer.
So you
know,
wanna come
but it made it easier
outsider?
for me.
I'm a
And
dreamer.
because I could go anywhere in my mind, and it kept me
I'm
occupied.
still a dreamer.
I am too.
Got it
And-
spot.
You know, that's why that I was telling
Got it
somebody,
spot.
I'm not a word,
Yeah.
I'm not a word type. Because if there's something
put-
bad
make
happening
some,
This
in
girl,
my family,
this,
well, I think about something else.
Yeah.
I
Well, that's
dream
the
about other things, and I don't let
And
things,
if I read a
concentrate
book,
on it.
I go with the person in the book wherever they're.
It feels like I'm right there with them.
Yeah, and so
Well, that's what you put.
we always looked at play out was doing things. You know what I'm saying? Play live. You know what I'm saying? Play out.
And then let it.
And so
Brown sugar. and
I
let it
couldn't
burn.
wait
And
to
I made
get
this last week, and I
grown
told Zena to go get
and
another.
date and marry and have children and have a home and
She
family.
said she was
I
coming.
always just that was
She
in
said
my.
she didn't, you didn't know
So
what time we were leaving, she was
I
gonna
would
come on
go
if
out
it's
there
left.
and
She must stop
somewhere. I wasn't gonna come with her because.
it was right out from the backyard.
So, because
And I would sweep it
Yeah, well, that's
out,
what she
make a
said. She
place,
wanted
you
to-
know, for me
She wanted to know what
to
time she could
playhouse.
come, and I said, well,
And I could look up, and I love nature too, you know, and I'd look up in the blue sky up there, you know, and the bees would be buzzing, and the birds would be flying around, and you could see the flowers and all of that, and so I.
I never was brother Burgess.
That's two dreamers about.
Yes, it's two dreamers, right?
I
And
said
so,
they dream.
and so I was just sweeping it out once. I said, it just came to me. There are many bluebirds in the sky. There are many mountains up so high. Then we all go to see the buzzing bumblebee. Howdy do, Mr. B. Howdy do, says. Isn't it all?
Why that one wasn't in our songbook?
But wait a minute, and then another day, or it might have been that same day, I don't remember exactly, but I was so excited about my playhouse, you know, and all I said, there was, all right,
I know that,
Sue Deal.
we know that one.
There was a little maid who stayed outdoors and played, and she loved the little children so well that she would stay outdoors and sweep the playhouse floors, and then they would run, jump, and play.
How long have you with them songs?
I don't know, they just stuck
Are
with me.
you old as her?
I lived with them a while.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, Velma, don't you know that's Earl's?
Well, which one of your boys was born over there across from Walk Street? You know, back over there where I come in and had to wash all them diapers. Was he born in the wintertime? Because I had to go
in
out.
April, but see, it's still cool.
I had to go out there by the well where the water was and
We
wash
had to
them
draw
diapers.
water. We had to have an outdoor toilet.
Edith, you're not that old.
Yeah, I know, but that was that was 1949.
Hey, on my
Hey,
street,
Sue,
they
I
get
can't wait
outside.
for you to hear. I can't wait for you to see this tape when he's
Oh
back
no,
here.
no, you
I
ain't gonna
got a-
show
Hey,
it.
I got a scoop.
might remember.
Barbara Walters
She
got a
might,
scoop.
she might
Yeah.
remember it. She might remember it. When
She
we
got
lived
a whipping when she done something. Don't tell it
it.
over
No,
there.
I,
That,
okay.
not right
And
now on the camera.
Let me see, where did I get to? Let's,
Okay,
what
what's
we
your next
Melton,
song?
We went to Melton School.
Oh,
you know, and it, I
It's
don't know
about
where I
Playhouse
started.
Story. Now, what's the next one?
Let's see. Well, the next one that it was a Christian song. Those were just little, you know. But
Secular song. Yes.
secular,
Kitty song.
contemporary. But anyway, we were living at Easley. I was 13 years old, and I remember that Grandpa King was staying there. What was Grandpa King staying
I don't know,
there?
but
He worked on the third shift.
They finally moved up there.
Yeah,
They
for a
moved up
while.
behind the Baptist church.
And now this is one that I don't remember the exact story behind it. You know, all my songs has got little stories behind them, the way I was inspired. But this one, I imagine I was kind of under conviction, maybe. You know,
Probably was after that scoop.
now that was too far back. See, they would never let me live that down.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be cute. I'm too old to be cute.
And so, she's made me forget what I was going to say.
I forgot what you said too.
Oh yeah, about this.
Well,
And
Grandpa
I
was there.
believe that.
Grandpa and him was there.
I think what it was that mom and them, or mom and dad, or we had probably been in a revival, and they had been preaching on the second coming of the Lord, because I wrote there was just a few more days. It's just a few more days,
Just a little while
till our dear Savior
will see him smile.
And the book is, they've done that just a little bit. With friends and loved ones dear, we'll live on high. It's just a few more days, a little way. It's just a little while. And you know, me and Roy was riding around one day out in the country, and we had the radio on, and all at once I heard that song, and I thought, who in the world? And it was Rosie. You remember Roosevelt Miller? When Brother Waters was here, he was our minister of music, and he was playing the piano and singing that.
Aww.
He loved my songs. You know that one I wrote about, Lord, they say, Lord, I'm tired and worn, walking, I'm getting down this rugged way. I've got exact. Seems my burdens are greater every day. Cares of life down here below. Beside you, Lord, no one will know. Give me grace, Lord. Give me wonderful grace. Lord, give me grace. And you go to a different key there. And strength to bear this heavy load. And I was having some heavy load. As I travel down this toilsome road, guide me safely as I onward go. Give me grace, Lord. Give me wonderful grace. I hope to fix that sometime. Now, the reason what brought that to my mind, Rosie called that my yodeling song.
Yeah.
Yeah, he called that my yodeling song. And it's got another verse I can't remember right now, but we were living on Gallon Street.
How many songs have you made is to date?
You
You remember?
One time I counted, it was over 200, and I just quit. I said, well, what? I want to know how many I've written, you know. And so I think the way that
Well, I didn't, you know, I said if you felt like you need to talk about it.
the way Dottie Rambo, most people, they wait and just count what they got published, you know.
But you made a lot of songs.
Yeah, but I already told her, you know, that he's my shepherd, you know. Well, it will. As far as I know, it'll be in the book next time. Earl had it, you know. He said, what? He didn't remember it. And it was on that album. You know, he didn't
Because you
remember it.
changed
Don't think I changed it by them because he's not done. It wouldn't harmonize good, and so I changed it. I didn't give them a
Well,
chance to.
that trio that was harmonizing a cappella last night, they probably could have done that.
I know it.
Have you got any of the Gaither's tapes?
Oh, yes.
Have you got the Christmas one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I've got it set where this deaf lady, this deaf lady sang.
Oh, you mean they're where they got all them other
Oh,
people?
that was so
Yeah,
cool. And her couldn't even hear it. Now, she didn't. It was just a very few times that she kind of wavered a little bit from the extra two.
Ooh, I've got it.
And she didn't sound, you know, Ruth sound, well, I don't know how to say, but you have Ruth sound.
She sung
She
Silent
sounded,
Night, and it's almost.
anybody that had never heard anybody talking deaf, they wouldn't have known she was deaf. That's how good she talked. But it was touching, I'm telling you, it brings tears to your eyes.
Everybody cries.
Oh, because she had a
I
story
cried
to
time I listened to
tell.
all them people. They
And that, especially when the Slaughters sang that, I've never loved him better than
And
you.
Bill Gates put them the songs that him and Gloria.
Oh,
That
yeah.
song, they never get out of proportion.
No, it's just so precious.
They
Herman,
sweet. They like we like them because I
I
got
like
a blessing.
sweet music. I like sweet
When it's
music.
sweet.
I like
sweet mellow music.
I like to watch
I like
the others
things
have,
that
you know,
make
fast
you
songs that
cry.
makes them shout, but
Yeah.
I can't do that. I get my blessing from
Well,
crying.
hey, you know what I did the other day? Well, because, that church, they want to have these happy things, and I like them too. And so I was playing that tape, the Grant's tape, and I just see how it feels, and I just sang,
Give over to you.
by myself at the house.
That's the way you do
Well, that's the way I do my private devotion.
I said, but I couldn't do it. We couldn't do it now because we've always just sung quiet. But I'm just seeing how they felt. Y'all just sing.
But I love to see anybody singing with a smile like that
Oh,
slogan
yeah,
with a smile, you know,
yeah.
that's so
Stand
sweet.
up
But we
and
smile.
Just like you
I
sound,
smile.
because there people say, well, I don't want that
Well,
kind of religion.
Mama
you
used
know.
to put us, make me and Erlene, I guess, but yeah, because Eddie was already married. And she'd make us stand in front of that
Mirror.
that
See how
dresser,
you
you know,
look.
and to practice a song. Well, we'd get so tickled we couldn't practice, so she'd
Well,
make
that brought something to my mind. That is it. Me and Gaynell were plus Mama didn't allow that. Plus,
She'd say, y'all quit,
and I told this on,
She wanted you to be sweet.
yeah,
I
I
did this year and
know.
I said, I always wanted my children to be sweet to where I wouldn't have to raise my voice to them.
And I
And said,
Mama
"And
don't
y'all
have to.
won't-" It said, and y'all won't do it. Said you won't move till
Who
I
said
holler."
that? Who said
Mom.
that?
Yeah, I told somebody one time, I said, I never heard my mama. I said,
Ain't
we
mad.
hollered at kids.
Uh-uh.
I said, my mom never got mad and hollered at us.
You know,
I said, they said, well, what? I said, she said, now, children, y'all
sweet.
be sweet now. And they think,
Sister
But let me tell you-
Atkins, did y'all remember her in 25 Sister Atkins? She may be dead now.
I
She's
remember
been
Addie.
around. They was the first.
Oh, that's
What was
good.
it?
No, the main thing I remember, Mama didn't allow us to fuss. We started, she'd say, stop it, and I said, well, Gaynell said something, she said, well, Edith said something. She said, it takes two to fuss, now stop it. And the way I said things, she said, Edith, honey, it's not so much what you say, but it's the way you look and the way you say it. And I maybe something. She said, she made me go in the bedroom where the dresser was. You go in and they come to watch me. So be sure that I did. And said, I told this on the tape when I be talking when the Lord lay on my heart a scripture or something. I say we have to even be careful about our expression because a lot of times your expression says more than your words do.
yeah.
I've always.
And Mama, she said, I want you to see how you look and the expression on your
Do
face.
you remember that y'all three that sung up there on TV that night? Neither one of y'all smiled.
I know Earl.
Y'all was the.
Earl said y'all looked awful.
Y'all did. I'll be
He
honest.
said we did.
I did.
Yeah.
we could
No,
miss
they
it
did.
today. I got another scoop.
No, that's when we were living in
This is-
Woodrow.
I know it, but I know, I understand the
Yeah, I know.
situation.
Oh, I know you were
But
They
here
said
they
it was
were,
awful.
but here there was auntie, and what are they? And I just thought, well, hey, well, sure, this smile left one. Nobody on
Earl, he said, Mother,
Did he
y'all
say
look
so?
awful. Yes, he did. He said, y'all look
And
awful.
them
I
two
didn't even want
girls
nobody to
that
know who
sings
was
now, you
what
know.
was.
I think they
well,
said
Edith,
so.
seemed like I remember you tell us too, said one reason y'all was kind of, because she made y'all sit over there so long, waiting to sing. Didn't you tell me that one
Yeah,
time?
I think it was.
And- and is it
we-
kind of
It's still
frustrating?
no matter what it was, they.
No, we
put that
should've.
in front of the public.
I see, they wasn't thinking about that.
Well, let me finish that before I
Me as a
forget what I was going to
parent,
say,
I'm
because this
saying,
might make you feel,
Okay.
might help you.
Okay, help.
She can't stand for nobody to say anything like that.
Listen. And so I went in there, and the mama and Gaynell, whoever's in there, because Gaynell she didn't like what Gaynell did, but I was the one that looked so, and we'll just wait. And I went in there, and I did. She said, now I want you to say it with the same tone of voice, the same thing you said to your sister, and just have that same expression. And when I did, I've never forgotten it, and it made me feel terrible. The way I looked and the way I said it was worse. It sounded worse than what I was saying.
Yeah, that's right, because we never
And
did say
and
that
I
before.
tried. That's it. A lot of these things come back to my mind when I'm trying to help somebody else. But and things like that sticks with me. I cannot understand. This is nothing though I don't get to say it, but I can't understand people that don't remember things happening to them, I just say it this way, y'all know what I'm talking about.
They
And unless till they go to a counselor or somebody to bring it to, I'm gonna tell you, every little thing bad that ever
You
happened to
can
me
bring it
stamped
up.
on my mind. I don't think about it all the time and make it
No.
Hey,
work, but
yeah,
I
that's why
haven't
we don't
forgotten.
have to have psychiatrists, because that's why I told Erlene, when we're walking, we tell each other everything. See, we
Yeah.
get down to our system and people that just sits at home and keep, oh, then that's when that's go to.
But you know what has
No,
helped me
people
so
wants to put on, and just like that, when they talking, it sounds bad, and they know it does. And it looks bad, and they
Yeah,
know it does.
yeah,
And so they don't want to tell that because it's them.
Yeah,
Now, if it was on you, I could really tell you a whole lot.
yeah, oh yeah.
You could say,
I know.
go on and say it. But if it's about yourself,
It's
hard
different.
to.
We don't judge ourselves like we do, like we judge other people. And maybe we've said or done the same thing or even worse, but we judge
But you know
other
what,
people.
though,
Well, we're not supposed to judge them first.
no, judge not.
To be not.
And you know what, Jesus, his actual words is that said, "Oh, ye hypocrites," when he's talking about judge not, lest you be judged, because it'll be brought back to you. It'll be brought back to you. Yeah, because you
Yeah, I
reap what you
You
sow.
so. That's right. What you start to say, Sue? You speak to say something.
No, not really. It would sound like I'm bragging on myself.
Well, go
Well,
ahead.
you go
Well, that's
ahead.
me. That's where I am.
No,
That's
I
where-
said,
that's where-
"Say it,
yeah.
I don't want
but
to-
I'll be
go ahead,
honest
Sue.
with you. And I'm not, what, no little goody two shoes
Nah,
or
we
anything
know
like that.
that. We know that.
But I do try to be pleasant. If it's an unpleasant situation, I try to act like,
Smooth it over.
I've always been a peace lover.
Me too.
A peacemaker. I try to. Now, I don't mean that I never have blowed my stack and said
Yeah.
things I had no
Yeah,
business.
we all do
I
that.
didn't, but the majority of times, that's the reason
Me
you
too.
know,
I love to be
them old
peaceful.
people.
Yeah.
Come.
Especially
She
she's
get
one of
along
them old people. How old are you?
I'm not old, I'm just 35.
Oh, listen that. Oh.
Zeno's
He been
39,
he been married
times.
about
No,
39 years.
I'm 76, I'll be 77 in June.
70.
Sue said the other night, she said, you know, y'all having girls don't look like
Sue,
like y'all
you used to
old.
be
She
Pace.
said Edith don't, you know, she's talking about Edith. She said, she don't like she's 73. She said, you don't like, 69. I said, y'all sure do look young for y'all's age. How,
Well, we stay alert. You know, people that get to looking
Right.
old and die early after they retire, they just go, they sit
I
down and do
I work
nothing.
harder now than I did when I was
Don't
working.
they just sit down and don't do nothing?
Right.
Yeah,
And
I work
they-
You
harder
got
now.
to stay alert. We
I
have to
don't
stay
know, well, I'm
alert.
gonna tell you the truth, I'm 76 years old, but to tell you, how does people get old?
I don't know. How do they
What
feel? How
is
do old people
old?
feel?
In my mind, I don't feel that old. Sometimes my body tells me I'm that old, but my mind.
But now, really, I've often looked, I think, well, and
We don't
I'm
want
not
you to
trying
learn how to
be-
get old.
I'm not trying to be
no.
a 16-year-old or
No.
something like that, a flippy.
No.
But I don't know, I just do what I
Yeah.
feel like doing.
That's
you
the
know?
way-
Well, I know everybody, they think it's, I mean, they said, I think it's wonderful because, see, Erlene and I walk 4 miles a day.
Yeah,
And they
well,
said, well,
it's good.
Well, we've lived clean lives. We
Right.
didn't have.
Right.
I know it's one of the deputies over town, we stop and talk to people, you know, we know people all around, right? And he said, you know, he said, it's just amazing. I said, I think it's wonderful y'all girls do it, because said most people, we was talking about, I said, well, I'm older than you. Now, he was
Yeah.
60, I said, well, I'm 69. He said, most old women, the 69 years old, said they already got this little hump.
They have.
And said they go around and said you walk, he told me, said you walk alert, said, and we don't just, like, we walk.
Big,
We walk with a
That's
Becky gets out
And
of
if
the
you,
car.
if you
She
see
can't
them,
help
if
it.
you, if you see them and try to get them to stop and talk to you, they'll just say a word and go right on.
We can't have to.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good, that's good.
Well, see, we're supposed to not do as things are, but as though they were not. That's Bible. Did y'all know that? It is. I may not be saying that exactly the way it is, but you know, a lot of times things are
know what
That's
I
why she's
say.
trying to get up in the kitchen.
What I
Tell
say,
she's
and
trying to
I
do what
thank the Lord for it. I thank the Lord that I'm that way, but that's me and Becky now. Becky is young, you know, she's not all that young, but she's not old either. And, I've got kids her age, you know. But she'll get, I have to, if they want me to drive, and here she gets out, when she starts to get out of the car, she can't hardly get out. And she
Or she
just
sits
stand
down.
there and work her feet.
She sits at home probably all day and then she'll watch the
Well,
television.
no,
Because
no,
I
she
sit
don't,
around.
she's pretty active. She says she's got arthritis and that.
So that's when I thank the Lord, that's one thing I say, I thank the
Well,
Lord
I
every
reckon
day
I have
for
it.
my
I
health.
don't know it.
Yeah,
They say I'd know it if I had it.
I know at Thanksgiving when we
But no, I
said,
just looked and I thought, well, I said, Becky, is that what you're supposed to do? Cause, is that what you're supposed to do when you get no? And I said, well, I ain't learned how to do that yet. Cause she,
yeah, we all been in good health, you know, most all of us.
really,
They're not,
we have,
it's more, I mean,
as a whole.
we've been in good health.
But you see,
Look over
you know,
there.
this goes all the way back to Mama. Daddy didn't smoke, didn't drink. He didn't have no bad habits. Mama
didn't
didn't
smell
either.
it. We didn't have to smell it.
No,
We didn't have to breathe that smoke.
secondhand smoke or anything. And so
And we
it makes a
taters and
difference.
beans.
Taters and beans, we
Hey, we eat
good
everything that
calcium.
people leaves alone now.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And
I
it's
know.
healthy, it's healthy.
I still cook, but I haven't bought fat back in years. But I season
makes the best
my beans with spices, and it is good. Ours every so often, Lamar he'll say, "Mom, cook us a pot of butter beans like you do with the spices." See, ours has to be careful about. They said her heart was caked in animal fat,
Yeah, well, let's see.
and that didn't happen overnight.